on that top lane on their own. Oh, we've got a
Hey.
draft. No longer need to theorize. Okay. LDLC blue side, BDS Academy red side. We're going to distract from what I was saying and move in onto this one. We talked about Draven games for LDLC. This is another one for Exakick. DOS taking the Amumu into the support role. So a very proactive 2 versus 2. And Adam pulling out the Olaf once again. The thing that's really striking me here is a Vi in the jungle, something that we've not seen all that much of, but that has been getting a little bit of play globally.
Yeah, it sort of started off around about MSI. I think it was T1 that pulled it out a couple of times, and I have been noticing it rising across the RLs recently. I guess the idea is just that you've got that guaranteed engage, but the major thing that is screaming at me from both these drafts, Rooted, is that there's a lot of proactivity. There's a lot of champions that can move around the map, that can do things, especially in the early stages for LDLC.
Yeah, we've got Amumu, we've got Wukong hitting level 6. That's a very powerful tool available to the LDLC side. On the flip side with BDS Academy, again, as soon as that Vi hits level 6, going to feel very comfortable trying to go for engagements that Talia like. We'll have that Weaver's Wall available. And this is actually a champion that on 12-13, I think, is maybe not giving over.
Welcome onto the Rift, everybody, for Game 1. This juggernaut matchup between LDLC and BDS Academy. A game that could be a potential preview of the LFL final, could be a preview of an EU Masters final, but we'll get to that in a bit. Right now, all that matters is how these teams fare over the next potentially 5 games to see who will be making their way all the way to the LFL final.
Written in the stars, LDLC versus BDS Academy to begin our week of playoffs action. Of course, we've got Vitality B versus Game Ward on tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one once we've closed out this series. And as we so rightly mentioned, could very well be 5 games. I predicted it goes to all 5 this series here. Middlecott, on the other hand, ever the BDS skepticist with his 4 games LDLC win.
Maybe not a skepticist, just a believer in the power of the Foxes from Lyon. As we did tease that Draven pick potentially a little bit in the pre-game, and we have seen it come out in this Game 1, and it's into this area, one of these matchups that you really can put to the sword in the early game.
Yep, not a very strong champion through her laning phase. A decided weakness of the Zeri in the bot lane, and Crownie's certainly going to have to try and sort of alleviate that in some capacity. Has got Erdate down in the bot side to help out as well. This Renata, a very good disengage tool, and you can do a pretty decent job at interrupting bandage tosses. It's fairly difficult. Not going to say that it's by any means easy, but it does stop the follow-up CC coming through from Dawson, the initial as well. Will always land with cleanse on both Rika and Crownie. Level 6s for the LDLC side going to be fairly powerful. As that Curse of the Sad Mummy comes down, we've also got charms from Ica to ruin some holidays.
Already an engage here from DOS with that bandage toss. Obviously, he's going to have the second charge of it. Erdate really not enjoying the laning phase so far, but Crownie able to dish out a fair bit of damage onto X-Kick. Few potions still, though, for the Draven, so should be absolutely fine to go for another trade, maybe when the level 2's hit.
Yeah, just a small thing, of course, about AD carry bot lanes in general is whenever you do focus the support, it's going to be on the likes of Crownie in that situation to try and put some damage back down. Quite rightly, focuses out Exakick and gives himself just a small HP advantage for the time being. Now, of course, with 3 potions and a longsword start, you expect Exakick will be able to sustain that back up using the consumables. But it's a good little showing from Crownie that isn't going to let this bot lane be as bullied out as we first might have thought.
Yeah, swapping to the other side of the map, we see Ragnar able to pick up his first few CS, and it's not really a surprise. The Olaf is known for his power in terms of the early game, as already really seeing that come to bear. And it's a pick that really we have associated with Adam for so many years at this point, but going up against Ragnar, a guy that we have praised for being very consistent, being very strong on the weak side. BDS Academy top laner may have a harder time in these early stages getting the leads that he's used to.
And I think that for Shio in particular, he's actually missed a trick in trying to enable Adam. Went for a full clear on his top side. If we'd have seen a slightly slower clear or a slightly slower camps, where he'd gone for just 3 camps into top lane, this is a very diveable top lane. When you've got no flash on the Gwen, there was a big wave stacked up. I think we've missed an opportunity here to try and get an early lead onto Adam. You can see Vi pathing up towards this top side, but is only now making her presence in the river even. Not even showcasing too much on that top side. And it's a bit of a window wasted for the BDS jungle. And now looking to potentially go for an invade on that top side.
DOS with another bandage toss, this time onto Crownie. Does still have the cleanse available as Yike is diving forward. Adote's going to burn down, and the first kill in the Juggernaut matchup goes to DOS.
Onto your support. Ignite's doing the hard work there. Of course, the way that the Renata bailout works is it's not who gets the last hit on the first form, it's whoever does the damage at the end during the bailout sequence. So the Ignite going to be dealing that last portion of damage, even whilst we've got this resurrected form, as Rika's now the one in trouble. Cleanse and flash ready.
Yeah, it's all DOS going forward. They're going to trade flashes with the BDS mid laner, but
Oh,
he
great
misses
trade.
the charm. Brilliant from
Rika
Rika
too.
as he turns around the play and gets a double kill.
Rika, the performer, the consistent man in the mid lane for BDS Academy, turns around the gank in a 1 versus 3 situation. Adote here to help him push the wave, but that was exclusively Rika's fancy footwork. Cleanses out of the bandage toss and flashes to a point that doesn't get hit by Ika's charm. Those skill shots going wide and not quite having that follow-up damage in the early stages is going to give a big advantage to the BDS mid lane.
Yeah, and that Talia is a champion that could snowball these advantages so quickly. It was a brilliant snap engage from LDLC, but Rika's fingers are just a little bit better.
And landing that seismic shove as well under such pressure is not easy. Full credit over to Rika, living on the slimmest of margins, but recognizing the damage output capability was 0 when they were all under the turret. And a really well executed 1 versus 3 for Rika. It's also shoes picked up, and Tia as well going to feel very comfortable just farming up now in that mid lane. Something I want to touch on, might not get to because there's a Drake here. Shio wants this.
Yeah, 3 members of BDS Academy moving over. Shio charging up that Void Breaker, going forward as it is the red team who has slayed the Dragon. No X kick, kiting away but very low on the Draven. He's not quite going to be able to kill Shio before he falls down. As another beautiful seismic sharp from Rika sets up the play for BDS Academy. Another kill for Crownie, a triple for the Zeri, and the first 6 minutes have gone absolutely perfect for BDS.
Oh, outside of that one gank in the bot side, you are not wrong, Middlecut. Crownie now with 3 kills, 2 kills on your mid lane, gold in all the right places for BDS Academy. And they just leverage the level 6 in the mid lane. Rika able to ding that and sort of cut off the entirety of LDLC. Look, Ika here still at level 5, and whilst Talia's not got a combat ulti, you get to see the powerful nature of this Talia in action. Adote also lands a 3-man stun with that handshake, and the most important thing it feels like from all of this, the extra kick doesn't get a cash in. Falls before he's able to cash in on those stacks, loses 75% of those. And DOS, yes, he's able to waddle away, but your support getting out of that is very little solace for you. It's LDLC.
Oh, diving in the top lane, and Ragnar is dead. Shio's going to fall down in trade. We'll have to see how that ended up going, but BDS Academy in the early game have managed to secure leads on all of their laners. A 1.2 thousand gold lead as well. This is not how we expected game 1 to go.
But this is how we were expecting BDS Academy to find their wins. Look, as you said, if they find a lead in a hyper early game, it could very well look to snowball it. This is now 3v1 on that top side, and they started honestly just a little too early. Shio's not there in time and isn't able to, fully layer up that CC. Ends up falling as well as a consequence. So a bit rushed there by the BDS Academy top side, but they do still get the job done. A kill onto Ragnar, who, as you can see, specking into very defensive items for right now. Certainly not going to be dishing out all that much damage in too soon a time frame.
Yeah, and the thing about dives like that is that's just a result of the BDS Academy playstyle. I feel like if you are constantly going for these aggressive plays, you're going to mess up one of them every so often. And it does mean that LDLC have got a potential lifeline in terms of this going, although they're going to have to wait a very, very long time for it to come online. The thing that we need to see from BDS Academy now is a continuation of the plays that they've been making. Keep yourself proactive, keep yourself moving forward, and maybe you've got a chance of taking down the best team in the LFL.
Rift Herald going to be that next objective on the board. Has just spawned up. No team particularly looking to make a lane swap play right now. I don't think the LDLC are too happy to try and initiate anything since they are behind in this early game, but they also still just have priority in that bot side. Draven and Mumu don't lose out on their combat capabilities just because they've died once. They're still a fairly scary duo to try and battle up against, so they can, for the large part, control how this lane is going. Even on levels, means that there's not too much of an advantage going either way. That serrated Dirk, they're going to be helping out Exakick in the 2 versus 2 down here. But like you say, continuation is going to be crucial for BDS Academy. They aren't a team that necessarily gets outscaled to oblivion. That bot lane scaling in particular is something that's going to be very BDS Academy favored. But the Olaf and the Vi through the later stages do tend to get kited out, are a lot easier to counter as we move through the later portions of the game.
Yeah, and this feels like the way that the BDS are as a team. It's about making it all happen in the early stages and then relying on the fact that someone like Crownie or someone like Rika has got strong enough as an individual carry to then push you through the rest of this game. And the question for me becomes is, when do BDS Academy feel like they can actually utilize that lead to a further extent? Because we talked about how early game favored LDLC's draft is. They've still got a lot of those playmaking tools. They've still got a lot of those abilities. But they are behind right now. I'm not sure when BDS Academy think that their window is going to appear.
I imagine on Divine Sunder Officio, that might be a pretty big window that they think that they've got a chance at going for things. When first Mythics get completed, it does open up for BDS Academy to be a little bit more liberal with their engagements, a little bit more easy to go for them. Ragnar, you can see getting a little bit of help on this top side by Yike, and this is setting up for LDLC to potentially look to this Herald, pushing in the top lane, having your jungle up here, top lane priority as well. Is that they have got a chance, but with resets now coming through from the bot lanes, this was what I was waiting for. This is what you tend to look for, is when do those bot lanes take their resets, and it allows for the supports to move out onto the map. And this is that point where Crownie's either going to head up to the top side and we see a Herald play, or we see him head back down to that bot side, which feels like the more likely play. Instead of it being a Rift Herald trade for the first Drake, it might well just be the second instead.
Dirte not quite connecting on the handshake onto DOS. Still only level 5 on the Amumu. Doesn't quite have access to the Curse of the Sad Mummy. But Yike at level 7, the Cyclone available if he chooses to pull it out. But LDLC, for the moment, just allowing BDS Academy to take this Drake on the bottom side of the map, responding to a little bit of pressure towards the top half Herald.
Level 9 Talia is also a very big power spike for BDS Academy. Your threaded volley, the Q cooldown, lowers by an entire second at every rank. It goes from 7 down to 3. And having all of the damage that comes from it as well really opens up for Rika in this mid lane to really assert perma push down. Make sure that it's pretty miserable for Ica to ever try and get a roam. And means that this mid lane now, with those 2 kills as well, is going to be feeling very, very convincing for the BDS Academy mid laner. You already see him looking to leverage a little bit of that lead into some jungle camps. It was that Dragon for Herald take as theorized, and also a couple of camps get taken away on that bot side.
And the thing is, with the bottom half pressure from BDSA, they're actually able to force X-Kick a little bit away from the bot side, so try and deny the Draven the CS lead that has been slowly building over the course of this game. Around about 25 now. And X-Kick is going to need to keep accelerating that. He's going to need to keep relying on the early game pressure of this Draven. And LDLC, I feel like they kind of need to move towards it as well. Get some setup going for this Draven so he can get that cashed and so he can get an item advantage over Crownie.
And I really like this build path as well from X-Kick. To touch on it quickly, we've got BF Sword plus plus the Literated Dirk. Neither of which, if you're astute League of Legends players, you will know builds into a Marksman Mythic. Now, there is a world where we see the Eclipse come through for X-Kick. There's also Immortal Shield Bow, an option if you want to go for a Critical Strike Faded build path. We'll have to wait and see where they're going for this, because Yike is up top side.
Oh, flash engage onto Abin, who responds with the ultimate so quickly. You can't slow down the Olaf, but Ragnar just needs a couple more hits to get in. Not going to happen, though, and Adam runs away in style.
Hex Drink of value right there for Adam, able to use that item purchase and weathers the storm of Ragnar in the early stages. Still sat on those plated steel caps plus Ruby Crystal.
Not great as DOS finally level 6, but getting caught out in his own jungle. Actually re-engaging with Ica, but it's the support that goes down. Finally traded for the jungler of BDS Academy. A 1-for-1 in LDLC's jungle, but look at all the summoner spells that they had to burn to get that.
Yep, quite a few. Summer spells expended. X-Kick on this bot side left a little bit alone, got the wave pushed on in. That is a 1-for-1, I will say. That favors the LDLC side. A kill onto your mid laner, onto the jungle in particular. Means that Shio is not getting farm when Yike is. And, you know, DOS isn't going to care too much if he goes down in experience. Has hit that level 6 on Amumu. Is effectively full build at this point. He's got an ultimate. He's got a Glacial Augment. He's chilling in this game. He's got a stopwatch as well, so really no concerns for the Amumu at this stage.
As Yike summoning the Rift Herald into bot lane, trying to funnel a bit more resources into X-Kick on this Draven. Still yet to cash out, but possibly setting up for a dive, although with no ultimates available for the Wukong, for the Amumu. They actually get turned around on them now as Shio is going forward. Doesn't quite have the Vault Breaker. Punches the stun as Rika flashing forward to try and make a play onto Dust.
Wow.
And with no summoner spell available, support goes down for the second time in a minute.
They expend a few summon spells there in response.
Yep.
Rika uses his flash just to cut off the walkway here, putting down the Unraveled Earth. It's not too common that you'll see champions willingly walk over it, and means that it is just Dos residing in his own fate. I can now looking for a charm in the mid lane.
Oh, does land it onto the Talia, but with not much more items built than that Luden's Tempest, which Rika has as well. Not going to be one-shotting the Talia. And Rudu, we said that BDS Academy kind of wanted to snowball their lead a little bit. And looking in terms of the gold, hasn't really happened. Yes, they picked up a couple Drakes, and in a minute and 15 seconds, Hextech Soul is a possibility. But have they done enough in the early stages to match where LDLC are going to end up?
I think that they're okay. I don't think that... I think I may have misportrayed what they needed from this early game a little bit, because they have the staying power in this game to go to 40 to 50 minutes with the Zeri, with the Talia. And putting that pressure on LDLC through the early stages was enough to offset all of the early game powers that LDLC had gone for. The onus was on your blue side, on your reigning LFL champions, to make the moves in the early stages. And whilst we've seen them close up that gold gap, the fact that they're still behind really does put a bit of a question mark into how well LDLC will be able to pivot through the remainder of this game. Even a champion that, without a cash-in, without going to that late game, really struggles with the gold and really struggles with using his items in any capacity. So with no cash-in still, he is probably sat on a fair whack of stacks. It's been a while since we've seen him fall, and obviously picked up a lot of farm since then. There's a lot of pressure around this next fight. Expect that to be within the next minute on this bot side, because if X-Kick gets a kill, then he's going to be feeling good with his money. If he goes down, then that is probably the Draven out of this game.
Yeah, crucially down a Mythic. Hasn't completed that one yet, as Crowny's already sat on the Immortal Shield Bow. And LDLC, they recognize the importance of this upcoming Drake, but they also recognize it is going to be very, very difficult to walk into BDS Academy, given how strong they are right now. This Drake start has been spotted out as the Hextech gates come through. LDLC, they're not going to get a steal. They may not even get the fight, as BDS Academy have disengaged very, very easily. Ragnar going forward, though, as here comes the dashes from Ica, looking to catch out Erdote as Adam is on 200 HP, running away as fast as those legs will carry him. And LDLC can't quite catch up.
Wow, and if this disengage is successful, this could be beautiful for BDS Academy. Once again, getting away without fighting and getting the objective is full power in BDS Academy's back pocket. Get to see the power of BDS's composition right here. Something that we can touch on is how good at disengage this BDS Academy squad actually is. We've got hostile takeover on one side from Erdote, which is very good at holding people in place, and chasing into a Talia is very dangerous as well. Through that Unraveled Earth, you can end up getting micro stun time and time again. She's able to very frequently put out 5 pebbles onto you, which, like I say, 3-second cooldown is very frequent, and you're constantly not using worked ground, which means that you're recycling more and more rocks and putting more and more damage into the chasing party. Really does cause concern for LDLC and BDS Academy once again. Daylight robbery, it feels like, in the faces of LDLC, able to take the objective and get away scot-free.
And the thing is as well, just thinking about these teams in terms of identities, I don't think about BDS Academy as a disengaged team. These are players like Adam, players like Shio. They want to go forward, as we're seeing Crowny go forward onto X-Kick, forcing the flash out of the Draven, but it's not going to matter. A solo kill for Crowny in the bot lane.
Overextended, X-Kick gets punished. Crowny channeled the recall and thought, hold on 1 second, this is an illegal maneuver. They get punished, though, down on the spot side. Yike, he's looking. Flashes
over the wall, the Immortal Shield by procced, and Crowny dashes over the wall. He gets out of that one, rude dude.
Yep, and that's just an overcommit, I think, by Yike. Crowny positioned very nicely around the knuckle of that bot side wall. Meant that Yike had to expend the flash, then there was no chase potential. And a really nice engage.
Dos taking so much damage as LDLC, with that teleport coming through from Adam, decided to disengage the play. But BDS Academy aren't going to let them. Stopwatch from Dos will keep him alive, but the Axe, the Undertow, comes through just in time. But Ragnar, 1v1ing the Olaf on the bottom side of the fight. Ica is going to claim a kill onto Erdote. But meanwhile, Shio's joining the play as well, as Ica goes low and goes down. Adam with a double kill, and once again, BDSA make it happen.
How did Adam live there? What? He dove under the turret. It took about 2,000 damage in a split second, but able to use Gore Drinker plus Conqueror to weather all of the damage that Ragnar was putting down. You can see immediately Ragnar goes back to base, says, I'll not be having any more of that. Oblivion Orb picked up straight away. But whether that was there for the fight or not, Adam had far too much healing and far too much sustain in that fight that meant that he wins this 1 versus 1. And he had, honestly, it feels like no business getting away with it. This Berserk hit just barely catching Ica, again, honestly saves the play for BDS Academy, but it's those small margins that get away with it. Really well-timed axe from Adam here, catches DOS out of Stonyas. And look at the HP difference between Ragnar and Adam at that start of the fight. About 1,000 versus 200. But Adam able to kite out on those Qs, able to hop back in when necessary and take down the Gwen. Truly an impressive performance from the BDS Academy top laner. While Shio did end up finding the kill on to Ica, gets the trade in response. It's a very well played fight for BDS Academy, and now they are looking very well poised to take this Hextech Soul point in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
And the key thing for me is that towards the top half of that fight, you saw Rika limping away on about single-digit HP. A 400 gold shutdown exists on this Talia, and if someone on LDLC had been able to pick that up, could have been massive, could have got them back into this game. But as it stands, like you said, BDS Academy with the Soul in just over a minute, with a commanding gold lead with a composition that is going to outscale. Rudy, we may be getting an upset in game 1 of the series.
Well, you call it an upset. I call it predicted. BDS, obviously, I think that their hot streak is very much set to continue. And with, obviously, this being just game number 1, we can never rule out LDLC. And the game still isn't even over yet. This could still very easily turn back around. The crucial thing that we talked about, who's going to get that cash in? Is it going to be a cash in or a cash out?
Oh, top side. Oh no, Shio going very, very low as multiple members of LDLC, the same as Adam forced the ultimate away from the fight. 30 seconds until the Drake. Big cooldowns being blown.
X-Kick burned the cleanse right there. Hostile takeover used by Adote. That is not going to be available for this Drake fight, but we've still got... We've got no ultis available for BDS Academy, and the Cyclone and Needlework may actually be the difference maker for LDLC. There's a slight chance they can leverage those cooldowns into taking a beneficial fight around a dragon. This is a spot that BDS Academy may have to be cautious of. They've got no Lightning Rush, no Ragnarok, nor a cease and desist from Shio. They have to be very careful about how they take this fight, because there are still some team fight tools available to LDLC.
If they were to secure this Drake, if they could pick up the Hextech Soul, it would be so massive. Crowny is absolutely on fire this game, and with a Hextech Soul, he's going to be even more so. LDLC going to be getting into the pit a little bit later, as Red Team have already slain the Hextech Drake, have already got the Soul, and now DOS is looking for an engage. That's a massive curse of the Sad Mummy, as Adam is going to be the sacrificial Olaf on the front line. But if you run off with the buff, you're going to be happy about the fight.
Yeah, 1 for nothing, and they get the Hextech Drake. That is going to be BDS very, very happy. Will more than willingly sacrifice their top laner for 30 seconds whilst they have to recuperate a little bit of lost gold on the map. Really nice engagement. Once again, BDS Academy doing just what is necessary to secure themselves these big ticket advantages. Dragon going their way, and now there's nothing really on the map for them to do other than head toward that Baron. We've got it up for, it's only been 2 minutes, but with a Hextech Soul at your back pocket as well. 2 items on Zeri, 2 items on Talia. Talia, again, a champion that has so many strengths middle court, also shreds through Barons.
And look across the other side, LDLC have just been a little bit late this game. They haven't arrived on time for all the plays, and the plays that they have made have been answered very, very well by BDS Academy. That double kill for Rika under his own mid lane tower has ended up being just the way that the game has gone for LDLC and for BDS Academy in many ways.
Perfect foreshadowing, really, in every capacity. As, like you say, it was LDLC trying to make a play that did get turned around and ultimately didn't go in their favor. So for BDS Academy now, they've got this Hextech Soul. Would like to see them try and just play through 2 lanes, use this top lane, use the mid lane, a secure vision through the top side jungle, and set up on this Baron. Like I say, Zeri plus Talia, they do it very quickly.
Ica was pushing bot lane and doesn't have TP on the Ahri. He's not going to be able to get to this fight in time, so LDLC are going to be in a 4v5 Baron defense. Hextech gets used as the hostile takeover, just a zoning tool as the Baron is turned away and Ragnar is being collapsed on. Adam going forward, but already taken incredibly low on the Olaf, as here comes Exakick with the Whirling Death. It doesn't do enough damage to take anyone down just yet. Flashes forward. DOS looking for the engage to charm onto one as LDLC are attempting to find the fight, and they've already killed the Amumu. BDS Academy kiting back as much as they can, but with no mana on Crownie, it's going to be difficult. A kill for the Zeri keeps them alive. The Baron has been stopped as Rika is on the wrong side of town. X-Kick hunting for a shutdown on this Draven, but isn't going to find it because BDS Academy have turned it around. Shio with the engagers. Crownie is dominating the fight. Somehow still alive as Adam rejoins the play on full HP. The Weaver's wall to lock Ica in a place he cannot escape from, and the Viking will run him down.
Whoa, how have BDS Academy gotten away with this? 5 for nothing.
Look at those
They're going for the Baron.
Crownie's dead.
Leave. Stop! It was so good,
this.
BDS.
Okay, Adam's here. All right, it's fine. It's all right. It's all right. They get the Baron.
Okay, there's the start of Spring Crownie I knew. There he is, returned back again. Adam, run, please stop. Stop bullying them.
No, he's going to try and kill DOS, Rude Dude, and there isn't actually very members of LDLC here to back up their support.
Might win this.
A 1v3 for the
this.
Olaf is potentially winnable. The Ignite is going to cut that healing load. The Undertow's doing a load of damage, but the Gordrinker keeps him alive. Adam, that was close.
It was a bad idea, I'm not going to lie, Adam. Right, you knew going into that if they come to 3 people with you, that's not going to go your way. Does get 1. If he gets 2 there, it would have been great highlight reel, but this is going to delay BDS Academy in how fast they can close out. It means that your top laner going to be, 30 seconds stalled. It means that you've got to wait another 30 seconds before you can start setting up on the map to appropriately take steps around taking some objectives. But what this Baron is going to do, if we look at those timers, Baron is going to be live and as a buff for another 2 minutes or so, perfectly in sync with that Elder respawn time. So BDS Academy now likely to do, as we can see here, take the first steps at setting up around mid lane and bot lane. Something that you'll see so frequently from competitive teams is try and play through 2 lanes as opposed to 3. As LDLC, they're looking for this window.
Yike, hiding overall is going to go forward, landing a double Cyclone onto Rika and Odote, but DOS not quite in range to follow up. Does land a hook onto the supporters. Ragnar already being exploded in the teamfight as Ica is here to join, but he's not going to be able to kill Crownie. X-Kick dealing the damage with the Immortal Shield, but goes golden and stays alive. A triple kill for Rika on the other side of the fight as they rescue it for BDS Academy. A rampage for Shio as well, and Ica, the only member of LDLC left alive.
That was a 4v5 middle court. BDS Academy have just not even turned the game, but won, it feels like, every single inch of that fight. Yes, they lose out on their bot lane, but Rika absolutely smurfing on the top half of that fight. Shio doing all the work in the midst of everybody else, staying full HP and able to take down the rest of LDLC. They're going to get this inhibitor in the mid lane. Ica really shouldn't have an answer to Adam, but the respawns are here in just enough time. Mid lane inhibitor turret's broken down. LDLC now with their base broken open a little bit. Going to have to struggle their way through the remainder of this one.
Yeah, and it's a game that may not last very much longer because that Elder Drake is spawning in 50 seconds time, and BDS Academy have all the position to take this buff, and if they can secure it, that would most likely be game 1 in their pocket.
I mean, this game is just the perfect argument for why Rika has been my player to watch on BDS Academy. Watch him in these team fights. He's looking so very good. Shio now off to an engage. Yeah,
he's going on to DOS. He's going to be flashing away from a load of that damage as the Amumu is dead for the 8th time this game. DOS has not been able to make it happen. BDS Academy have been hunting him down. And that sad little mummy feeling a hell of a lot sadder in the grey screen. Elder Drake not being moved towards just yet. This bot lane at tier 2 tower, the focus for BDS Academy for the time being.
They can just default straight back to this. There's no real time pressure on them. They've got 15 seconds before DOS even respawns, and every single fight really is going BDS Academy's way. We've reached that point where LDLC can't take these convincing 5v5s anymore. Their composition has been outscaled. There's so much weight on Ragnar to do damage, and Yike can't even get in. No smite available, and this should just be LDLC taking the Drake and taking the fight as well.
I absolutely love this from BDS Academy. They recognize that they only need 2 people to do the Elder Drake. Does mean that they have to burn a few of these flashes relatively defensively as Rika is going forward onto X-Kick, and with the Elder buff burn, should be able to take out the Draven in short order. A legendary performance from the BDS Academy mid lane in game 1.
Adam TP's into the mid lane. He's got Elder Drake. He wants that 1v3 chance again.
Yeah, he's just going to be fighting the base as the rest of BDS Academy are fighting the members of LDLC. Crownie trying to kite away on the top side of the map on the Zeri and is making it happen finally. Chased down by Ragnar on the Zen. Oh no, cannot escape from VODS. The Elder Burn will take him out as well. Meanwhile, in the base, Adam taking down Nexus Towers, taking down the Nexus. In game 1, BDS Academy come out with an absolute storming performance. 28 kills, 28 minutes, game 1 versus LDLC.
And that's now a 9-game win streak for BDS Academy. LDLC's run at the top of the table ended here as they get slain by the BDS Academy squad. The LEC affiliate Academy squad really making those moves in the early game on the back of Rika, back of some